The human attention span is roughly 8.25 seconds. And thanks to TikTok, by the year 2024, we'd be lucky if it's about half of that. But there's hope. There's hope not only to keep the human attention span average above 8 seconds, there's hope to even take it above 10 seconds. This is mostly my professional, non-professional opinion. I'm not a scientist, and I'm not an attention specialist. But if we together can bring the attention span average of the human population up above 10 seconds, that means the average person will be able to sit down and watch half of an elite level 50 freestyle without getting distracted. But the hope in this situation and the training for the attention span of the human population comes from my YouTube channel, where we go through long form content. And if you haven't gotten distracted yet, then congratulations. You're training your attention span, and I believe that you're already above average. I'm just kidding. The actual attention span training comes from the great spot that distance swimming, especially men's distance swimming, is in worldwide right now. The world record in the mile, which I do hope gets broken this year, as many of you, I believe, hope happens as well, is 1431.02, which is roughly 105 human attention spans. So watch the mile all the way through at World Championships, and you're training your attention span while simultaneously being entertained by one of the most exciting miles in swimming history. The event is stacked. The world record, which we just talked about, is held by Sun Yang of China, who set this world record at the 2012 London Olympics. And he did so by coming home jaw-droppingly fast on the last 100, which was a 53.49, where he was 27.81 on the second to last 50 and 25.68 on the last 50.
Jesus Christ.
Before talking at all about the controversy that has surrounded Sun Yang in his entire swimming career, essentially, I do want to point out that I absolutely love the way he swims. Traditionally, coaches teach swimmers to breathe every third stroke, but for distance swimmers, we've kind of drifted away from that. And Sun Yang takes breathing to a totally different extreme. This guy breathes like a madman. He's breathing more during a mile than I am sitting here recording a video. Coaches still typically will tell you not to breathe in and out of your turns, although some of the best swimmers in the world do. And Sun Yang did breathe out of his walls in that 1500 world record swim on like the first 3 strokes of the majority of his world record mile. Disclaimer here, though, for those young swimmers out there or distance swimmers out there, doesn't matter what age, before your coaches get mad at me, just because you can does not mean that you should. Sun Yang can do this because he maintains incredible body position and balance while breathing. And so essentially, if you do the math, if I only slow down marginally because my breathing is so good, why not get more air? Put very, very simply, breathe more and you'll be able to swim faster for longer. Foreshadowing. So speaking of swimming faster for longer, Sun Yang got hit with a 4-month ban in 2014 for taking a stimulant called trimetazidine.
What did he say?
Nailed it, which is classified as a stimulant, and this is where Sun Yang drama begins. I'm just gonna scratch the surface of the drama with Sun Yang because I do want this video to focus on the guys that are swimming this mile over in Fukuoka, Japan in just a couple days and chasing that Sun Yang world record, but Sun would eventually end up doing all of the following. Sun Yang and a member of his security team smashed a blood sample after a dispute with drug testers, which could have resulted in a lifetime ban from the sport until FINA ruled in his favor, and he was only handed a 4-year ban only, and a little bit of change in addition to that, but it was supposed to be an 8-year ban, which would have basically been a lifetime ban from the sport at Sun Yang's age right now. But that 4-year and change ban will make him eligible, listen to the date carefully, in May of 2024. Additionally, he was involved in some sort of altercation in the warm-up pool at the 2015 World Championships where a Brazilian swimmer, I think, got hit by Sun Yang in the warm-down pool and then he ended up pulling out of the meet. There was a lot of confusion and a lot of gray area and a lot of blur going on there. There's not a ton of details. As some of you might remember, he was involved with some drama with an Australian swimmer in Mac Horton and a British swimmer in Duncan Scott as they protested him swimming in 2019 at the World Championships. He's just had a relatively eventful swimming career. But the record hunt is on. The hunt is one for not only the world record, that Sun Yang 1500 world record, but the hunt also for the 1430 barrier as well. The field is absolutely loaded, and it's highlighted, I think, by a swimmer who raised a lot of eyebrows at last year's World Championships in this very race and was under world record pace with 50 meters to go. Gregorio Baltrinieri. Quick disclaimer, the only thing that I'm worse at than pronouncing last names is trying to do accents. Whenever I try to do an accent, if I talk for long enough, all of them become Jamaican for some reason. Gregorio Baltrinieri. In that race with Baltrinieri last year, though, there were a couple other swimmers in the hunt as well. Florian Wellbrock, who has probably the most beautiful freestyle that I've ever seen in my life. Yep, enjoy watching that. I'll just let you kind of watch him swim in this flume for a second. You can just loop this if you want to. And also is already a double open water world champ at this year's World Championship. Also in the event is the most interesting distance swimmer in distance swimming history, the king of the kick, the last 50 wizard, Bobby Fink of the United States of America. But one other contender, however, could come in here and spoil the party for everyone. And he's got one hell of a YouTube channel, by the way, so I'm going to link that in the top of the description. It's Daniel Wiffen of Ireland. Daniel Wiffen has burst onto the scene this year and has already been 1434.91 in the 1500. And he's second in the world right now behind Florian Wellbrock. Other names to keep an eye on are Ukraine's Romanchuk, who's actually already been 1440, and another 1440 this year is Germany's Lucas Martins. This 1500 freestyle, this men's 1500 freestyle is going to be electric, y'all. I highly expect Gregorio Paltrinieri to go out pretty damn fast. Wellbrock will probably make it look easier the entire time, the entire race, than you or I do when we're swimming a cool down 100 freestyle with fins on in a 2009 Jaked swimming downhill. And with all of this kind of in our brains, Daniel Wiffen very well might go 1326.73. That's what I have for his prediction down here. And one thing's for sure, one thing that I know for certain going into this race is that if the double Olympic champion Bobby Fink is within 2 body lengths of the leaders in this field with 50 meters to go, he's not out of it. The average attention span for a human might be 8.25 seconds, but I'm not going to take my eyes off the screen during this men's mile for about 14 and a half minutes. That's some dramatic writing that I wrote in here, and as I say it out loud, it sounds hilarious. Thanks for watching, y'all. Comment who you think's going to win this race and what time you think they're going to go. Don't steal my prediction for Daniel Wiffen.
Flashback.
Daniel Wiffen very well might go 1326.73. That's what I have for his prediction down here. Get ready to watch some fast swimming in just a couple of days. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm going to go watch Florian Wellbrock swim in that flume for like 2 hours straight and just see if maybe by osmosis I'll get a little bit better at freestyle and simultaneously build up my attention span. Oh, and as promised, since I released a poll before putting out my most recent video actually, and foolishly included an option for me to make a video about me reviewing my brand new desk chair, which has a bunch of cool features. This right here is the beautiful Sihu M18 ergonomic office chair for big and tall people. That's funny. Featuring an adjustable headrest. Oh, it almost adjusted. 2D armrest lumbar support, PU wheels. I don't know what PU is. And a swivel tilt function in black. Swivel tilt. It works. The lumbar support on this bad boy is intense. I didn't realize it was for big and tall people, but it works. I've got a long torso. So I'll see you all in the next one. See ya.